Placed here as a Neighbors Helping Neighbors standard cellulitis, my real first ever health complication involving my feet. This sucks. October 22nd, 2016, 6:48 p.m. In the passing days of my life, there has been made a statement of reflection from the goodwill stated intentions of the leadership persons in the organization that held the property and tenancy management for my HOPWA residence in Oakland, California, 2003-2006 at Allen Temple Manor. As should it bear forward into the view of all here in Denver too. This does hold weighty truth to reach backward of my prior relationships as an honor and bring forward to be presented of that honor to current relationships understandings. This is how and why the Adinkra symbol Sankofa meaning applies as wisdom. ABHOW, Neighbors Helping Neighbors, www.abao.com// Neighbors-helping. American Baptist Homes of the West, August 21, 2012. What does it mean to be a good neighbor? It means watching out for each other. It means offering a helping hand when someone struggles. Daryl, I placed a voice call to you and left a voice message regarding this health-related matter. My concern here is whether I should wait until Monday and schedule an on-call app with my assigned care provider at the Colorado University Hospital in Aurora, which is specialized if care considerations of course are of need. Be visit a more immediate urgent care around here in the neighborhood. My question to you is if you knew specifically the best option here just in case I need it. Currently, my friend Marquis Ritchie is at work, however just called me to see if I needed anything. He has a special vetted inclusion of my visiting guests here by the placement of this name folder at my information system under my internet domain. http://mem.gruwith.net/ Pound Crimobone the Good / October 19, 2016 2205 Pound Marquis Damone Ritchie / October 22, 2016 1014 Observance Special Recognition October 22, 2016 11:29 42K. This has spoken voice text narrative interface at this link. He will be coming back here after his workday to help me in any needed assistance during this struggle. For the most part, I have not had to deal with complications to which not going to specialized care may in fact be an extremely unwise choice for best care options. Daryl, it might be noteworthy of mention here that Jennifer also has a named folder placed where my friend is included. Here folder has recently been moved to this root mem definition. As such is the state, this disclosure for your knowledge is one of the very purposes that this email is being writing to you today.
Written.
Pound Jennifer Maddox / October 20th, 2016 11:11. Now on to the actual topic of this day's health-related matters that I requested information from you, which you have already replied. Thank you. This is an example of pictures from online to this condition. Yes, this currently at the extreme painful state symptoms showing up this morning. This just festered up overnight and been in this state less than 12 hours in this short time period. I think I'm safe overall in waiting till Monday. However, in this state, it's very difficult for me to walk around even in my own apartment to use the bathroom, etc. But I do not believe it will affect my ability to drive to Aurora on Monday, hopefully. http://www.healthline.com/ health/ cellulitis pound prevention aid. I do believe this is what I have. Pictures above as examples from ONLNE and picture below here is taken just now. This is my right foot. Symptoms of cellulitis. The symptoms of cellulitis may include pain and tenderness in the affected area, redness or inflammation of your skin, a skin sore or rash that appears and grows quickly, tight, glossy, swollen appearance of the skin, a feeling of warmth in the affected area, central area that has an abscess with pus, formation of fever. Some common symptoms of a more serious cellulitis infection are: none of these symptoms are currently presenting at this time. Shaking, a feeling of illness, fatigue, dizziness, excitedness, muscle osseous, warm skin, sweating. Symptoms such as the following could signal that cellulitis is spreading: drowsiness, lethargy, blistering, grit streaks. You should contact your doctor immediately if any of these symptoms occur. Cellulitis causes and risk factors. Cellulitis occurs when certain types of bacteria enter through a cut or crack in the skin. Cellulitis is commonly caused by Staphylococcus and Streptococcus bacteria. Skin injuries such as cuts, insect bites, or surgical incisions are commonly the sites of the infection. Certain factors also increase your risk of developing cellulitis. Common risk factors include a weakened immune system, skin conditions that cause breaks in the skin, such as eczema and athlete's foot intravenous, 4. Drug use. Diabetes. A history of cellulitis. Diagnosing cellulitis. Your doctor can usually diagnose cellulitis on site, but they'll perform a physical exam to determine the extent of your condition. This exam might reveal swelling of the skin, redness, and warmth of the affected or swollen glands. Depending on the severity of your symptoms, your doctor may want to monitor the affected area for a few days to see if redness or swelling spread. In some cases, your doctor may perform a blood test or a culture of the wound to test for the presence of bacteria. Treating cellulitis. Your doctor will usually prescribe a 10 to 21-day regimen of oral antibiotics to treat your cellulitis. The length of your treatment with oral antibiotics will depend on the severity of your condition. Even if symptoms improve within a few days, it's important to take all of the medications prescribed to ensure proper treatment. While you're taking antibiotics, monitor your condition to see if symptoms improve. In most cases, symptoms will improve or disappear within a few days. In some cases, pain relievers are prescribed. You should rest until your symptoms improve. While you rest, you should raise the affected limb higher than your heart to reduce any swelling. Contact your doctor immediately if you don't respond to treatment within 3 days after beginning a round of antibiotics, if your symptoms get worse, or if you develop a fever. Cellulitis should go away within 7 to 10 days of starting antibiotics. Longer treatment could be necessary if your infection is severe. This can occur if you suffer from a chronic disease or if your immune system isn't working properly. People with certain pre-existing medical conditions and risk factors may need to stay in the hospital for observation during treatment. Your doctor may advise hospitalization if you have high temperature, have high blood pressure, have an infection that doesn't improve with antibiotics, have a compromised immune system due to other diseases require for antibiotics when oral antibiotics don't work. In this advice given, I do not believe I am in an urgent care need at the immediate time. Thank you for providing the simple, short, and sweet reply. You have an SMS text. Martin Driscoll, apartment 112-307. 757-8786. Cell. Yes, I do consider this a neighbors helping neighbors communication of concerns beyond building major to tenancy interpersonal relationship involvements. I hope this email is received to that cause and assistance, and not a build-up to be misrepresentative some malformed idea. There is not a relationship of any kind standing and holding us here for separating us from this neighborly and community communication ability. Truly, in my view, shameful to the dysfunction of relationship that you wish to define and have here with me per your directives and not mine. So be that it may, I think I am being most wise to know that my previous emails has been replied upon in complaint as hateful when no such hateful positions were present. Even onto the subject topic matter itself should have held a shared interest community concern in direct HIV/AIDS matters that are applied to this building's community residents, but did not. That was not held to be the wiser of the oblivion breakage and a failure to communicate. I am really at a loss of words to define a really solid good reason why this disunity is established here in the first place in the communication channels. For these should be obligated to the standards addressed by Marlon Reeks and filed right here in the University Higher Education Learning Presentation of Materials at Colorado.edu. This is the new standard of civilized life that now demands our urgent labor, a new world order, if you will, that subverts traditional conceptions of social order, a standard which in effect subverts the meaning of the word standard itself. For the new order must be comprised of multiple standards, shifting, open-ended, dynamically transforming, so as to engender ways of thinking and living that privilege no one set of cultural differences over another but affirm virtue in all. Source: Introduction to Standards V5 and 1 by Marlon Reeks, posted at Colorado.edu. This address of Marlon Reeks here has been refined and expanded in my community peace building address #06 to national scope points of view. I take and place that statement as it is cited there and quoted here into this conversation thread, for this is truly reinforced time and time again. This is an absolute moral truth in our active participation or distraction of responsibilities that we honor or dishonor unto ourselves. That unto the masses these abuses, if left unearthed, unnoticed, unaddressed, unabsolved, will only goes to the injustices that ultimately all in society will suffer the casualties for not doing the right justice actions now today that is being called upon us and actually have been called upon us for a few generations now. 1. Eulogy of Robert F. Kennedy of June 1968, audio MP3, through, 2, Marlon Reek's Introduction to Standards V5 and 1, audio point 1, audio point 2, audio conclusive importance, audio accreditation through current era date by, 3, Pope Francis Address to Congress September 2015, audio MP3, and now, 4, President Barack Obama most recent of Sunday, July 10, 2016 to listen to one another and 5. Hillary Clinton calls for a change in the indifference called upon our communities to access the full and complete community address with spoken voice text narrative interface presentation at 37-minute audio playtime. Link to http://community.growth.net/06/ Failing of these clauses of concerns here addressed to you now is a failure to think straight and proper and sound insanity-based ideas that persevere our everlasting peace. How really awful to make this a documentation of record, a stated status of standing present as a known pretense here. This is abnormal and you two know it too. Thank you for reading. So how can this too be also mistaken but for the intention of resolve to best outcomes is my very nature made my motivation to generate this email today, Saturday, October 22nd, 2016, 3:22 p.m. It can't and shall not be done upon this relationship worthiness. I guarantee this is not outside of personal care consequences that will indeed be placed. For if it is of a failure of missed opportunity that would be innocent, but a failure here defined by me would be in fact a great success defined by you. That is unwise of my cause would be a great success defined by you, and that is unwise discourse of conflict to continue for sure. Can we find a regaining of our dignity together hearing this challenge made to you now? And let us work to pave the roadways of the life path we each are walking to the same color or color compatibility shade matching so they blend beautifully together in harmony. For that is the visions I want to maintain and blend in peacefully. If this cannot be done this way, wiser we are left in color contrasting shades upon us is the ugly state of affairs that actually has been present to the root of all things. Chaos has been documented here. There has been a noticeable like an over-the-cliff drop marking reduction of observance to the occurrences of harassment received and other various negative attitudes against me. This changed only basically since our meeting at Pillar Properties. Prior to that, this was an ever-present unbreakable force chaos placed here made to look like it was coming from outside community involvements for months and months and months, never ending. Until just recently. But you and I both know, with the bicycle issue discussion I have written about recently to my case manager and Jennifer, to which it was you and your knowledge that this bicycle was indeed in my care for many weeks and was placed stored in the front of my car for at least 2 weeks prior to the garage power washing work that was completed. For in that power washing cleanup of the entire cemented floor space of the garage, it was indeed an observance of your mind and an action of your hands. Yes, you Daryl Johnson, to remove this bicycle from in front of my car and carry it to the inside hallway and hang it on the storage rack. For indeed you had to carry that bicycle with the wheels off the ground. This because the wheel and chain assembly as just mentioned on this bicycle was intentionally placed dysfunctional by me, the person to whom this bicycle was the subject of being left here inside of my apartment unit and fully dismantled from that visiting guest's abandonment of property and the circumstances involving that. For it was stored in my closet for many weeks prior to its dysfunctional reassembly appearance in front of my car. Who is involved in the pathways of interpersonal connections that brings this person visiting guest here with his bicycle in tow? The answer, of course, was from the actions of Mr. Memona Harris, not by my reaching out to the outside community myself. For that visiting guest was brought here by the independent involvements of others and their separate and apparent hidden agenda activities and actions. These made completely severed from me of both direct and indirect involvements on my part whatsoever. The bicycle and its movements from the initial passing time of abandonment to its interchanging states of assembly and storage placements as a matter of convenience decisions made onto this space by me is the object left over and present to this discussion talking point to the actual conspiracy that is now revealed by circumstances are being presented here truthfully to the story. For which you blame me for my own state of affairs for these things and the car theft and the carrying on and on which indeed are not my fault. This because this is where such faults and judgments for such faults do in fact break their chains of responsibility to what is occurring is actually not by me personally giving permission or consent to other actors involved here to the real underlying happenings invisible to me and outside of my awareness and through my involvement in those moments of time while all of this was occurring to the chaos over control's motives were being planned and tied up here. For future events will show something very, very disturbing.
Yes.
We do realize that all here is stated is the truth to the occurrences that actually did in fact happen here. Chaos about time after time after time that was placed into and inside living breathing spaces of this unit's pound 112 spaces by outside actors involved in conspiracy. This was done onto me against my true working knowledge free will. Right? This is fact, Daryl, and you can sit there in your silence or actually attempt to build new faith that we are not overpaving different colors patchworks here onto the ground to which we both are walking to. This harmony is not my goal for sure. 4 weeks later in my ever-interweaving developments of interpersonal relations attempting to get controls and moral consents in place between Mr. Milena Harris and myself, this event of violence reckoning was put to being video recorded and posted onto my Facebook timeline. This occurred and was posted on May 9th. Shown below. While Mr. Johnson, do we think this has just happened chance? The source of this more likely than not source conspiracy has been identified to be sourced internal of this building at 1005 Washington. Involvements outside of mine to the call upon to the most expanding level of outside community participants. These holding an outward view on my part as a relationship considered fresh as new acquaintances are in my line of view. But in fact were not truly outside independent, now were they? These two then finally resolute their agenda chaos at some future time forward. They could not resist whatever incentives they were given to become a participating presence here in this way. For that future time forward eventually succumbs to the directions of intentions source placed made from persons of an internal to this building source as agency power of this conspiracy. Although his is highly subjective point of view to prove, but it is more likely than not proven to the preponderance of the evidence is the standard I am meeting here, for sure. This was in fact was occurring time after time after time. This really some kind of real hurtful hateful scheme breaking bindings of common decency for absolute real opinion truth written here for sure by me. Nothing is outside of exaggerated story casting. I tell you, you better hold on to yourself. Your guts are being placed and left onto the table here, and for that, you shall be placed shitless for days to realize I have known this truth for months. Is there really an end game place here, or will it start up again? For I have been receiving and documenting this for months and months and months, an unyielding storm of chaos and calamity. This up until noticeable suspension recently, basically the time we had our meeting time at Pillar Property. Can I truly have any faith in you, Mr. Johnson, that this has a cease and desist present for never to be returned and reactivated against me? For in your sound of silence, there is no holding for me that I can trust and grab onto to a level that is confidence divine. This is forever done. Will there ever be the fact there is still present an antagonist plot character onto this story that by this time can be placed to a grand-scale movie made for TV based on a true story epic from the documentations I have for sure in my record of this is true. I really don't want to write such a book to then be put to film. There is really a better option here for us to understand one's placement upon our lives, and be better wise to some other grand purpose endeavor. For united we stand and divided we fall is the ever so ever lesson to know. And you know I am mission work goal here, unite peace building efforts and community messaging. Where are you on this? I must be provided a statement of supported address from the leaderships about the mismanagement of my tenancy. Without this letter of supported position, the integrity fails to hold divine confidence. This will not return sometime when I let up my guard for a time. I do not deserve this what has happened to me. I do not deserve it to be reactivated again for damn fucked up humans. Sure, I am done here with this story. Going on to Facebook links. See for yourself, this is very disturbing. There is definitely a reason for this writing and will be memo-space archived and filed accordingly. Spoken voice text narrative interface to these words. Of course. Thank you for a supportive, understanding concern. I really do appreciate that change in affirming position here in reply. It is deemed necessary function that cannot be ignored. Once again, this is not harassing intention-directed email content writing to you, Daryl Johnson. For sure. This should be one of the very last addresses of change in directives I must have to make onto the circumstances, if in fact I can do my mission work without interference. Do I have that assurances statement, made in writing, as will be the only accepted
Made
standard
in
I will
writing.
trust? Good day are ahead of us all. Post from my Facebook news feed. J. Martin Driscoll, May 9th, Denver. This is the result of helping people that are in fact beyond my help. I feel now threatened beyond help. This guy needs to be institutionalized, I'm telling you, for at least carefully taught boundaries to the consequences of breaking boundaries in people's lives when it is obvious that I have made those efforts of boundaries here in this space. To the degree he violates to now repeats this again and again, I have had to place to the record on SoundCloud case of Melina Harris #1 and #2. #2 is more serious than #1, but #1 it now not clothes but paints that he has here in this space. Which is true. I give him that he really should schedule this with me, that just arriving at the door. But I will concede to his urgency of needing it now. He cannot come in here and assist the right of dialogue with me until he can surely know he has had consequences of not being welcomed here because of his dishonesty. Come back in an hour. Well, he did not arrive in an hour. He waited all the way till 2 a.m. to once again arrive after hours at this intercom, thinking this is not already apparently a normal common decency barrier that he is about to break again with me. He dialed up my number again 2 a.m. people thinking this is okay. It's not. The really disturbing part of this is, with the test effect of the lights on fully in the front room till I awaken shortly before 2 a.m., then get up and perform a task of test to the walking outside and up the alley to be caught on to building security cameras of a quick in out of the building, reflecting that was my intent because knowing I have not effectively secured an understanding with this man, I already question he is stalking. He is absolutely second time period stalking me. I turned down the lights to effectively all lights low, and go to start some work on my computer to the degree I just woke up. He does not know that I was asleep and now awake, and if he does, he is disturbed to be both monitoring me at the lights from outside and then also cyber-stalking me to the presence of my online status, which highly unlikely that would serve anything anyway since I have departed online activity most all forms as a continuous online presence for many weeks now. So not more than 5 minutes after I start my work, the door intercom is used to dial into the space at 2:02 a.m., all of which this is undeserving of any response, but here is that online documentation of response placed onto the SoundCloud. I am giving case notes #2 more weight here than #1, but both serve as truth to the actions. I do not know what to do with this guy. I cannot hold space for him here, whether I am here by myself or have already present company, or anything if he cannot follow my directives. It's too much is chaos out of boundary of my need to control such chaos in a space dedicated to peace building. There is a lesson here. He knows has been a part of his time here. He is not listening to me, individually, or the lesson plan work here. I cannot and will not subject myself to this guy who does not truly suffer of consequences from breaking boundaries with people. I am off my wall of wit to do this alone. -10335 views, like, show more reactions, comments, share comments. J. Martin DRASKILL HTTP grewith.net// another %20 causality %20OF. Another causality of crimobone, a warning against deception/dishonesty in this space. When grewith.net, like, reply, remove preview. May 9 at 11:06 p.m. J. Martin Driscoll case notes part #1 https soundcloud.com/infam./ Waynu-Harris-case-noise-to Wayna Harris case notes to the public. This is my very first one of these. I don't think this should become the standard, but in this case, this soundcloud.com by In the Mindway, like, reply, remove preview. May 12 at 9:42 p.m. J. Martin Driscoll case notes part #2 https soundcloud.com/infam./ Mana-Harris-case-notes- and Melina Harris case notes. Foundation moral truth. With words of Pope Francis, soundcloud.com by In the Mindway, like, reply, remove preview. May 12 at 9:42 p.m. J. Martin Driscoll. This parameter has a need to already be present and account for online presence. He probably already scanned this. So in the absence of this, skip the rule to bypass such rules and go directly to the door at any time of hour for no true reasons. See more ESO micromobound player n.grew with .NET like reply remove preview May 12 at 9:52 p.m. J. Martin Driscoll. This would be the act of creating if it was automated to the after hours time of day. http://ESO micromobound player n.grew with .NET // After hours. Auto machine ESO micromobound player n.grew with .NET like reply remove preview May 12 at 9:54 p.m. J. Martin Driscoll, and this is the lesson of detailed understanding on stated intentions used as a guideline presence in this space. It is obvious to what this entails onto his behavior of record so far. http://ESO micromobound player n.grew with .NET // Lesson on stated intentions to oblivion ESO micromobound player n.grew with .NET like reply remove preview May 12 at 9:55 p.m. J. Martin Driscoll. Meeting means meeting of minds and time for that meeting to take place. Not just arriving at the door for your time at your demand is more important than this space's activities, whether that is sleep, play, work, or other. This space has greater prio. See more like reply May 12 at 10:01 p.m. J. Martin Driscoll. The name of this Modern Family episode is Man Shouldn't Lie. http://www.hulu.com/watch/929451 like reply May 12 at 10:22 p.m. Edited James Driscoll. Public February 15, 2016. Originally shared by James Driscoll. Good day, people. The following words of group guidance can be used in many different kinds of real-world group share and group work and group play types of situations. The overall formations establishes that we as human beings have a great responsibility to not create false or misleading intentions onto our universe as we share and implied make time or ways to interfacing into the lives of others. With room for only a slight modification onto these words, you may use them as each group collective time, energy, and space is needed and applied. The most important part of the lesson here is when there has been a stated intention put into the universe and not released respectfully. It does not just dissipate into nothingness. This is what is said here. It may be silent to you. Some inventions have greater harm than others if not responded on or released. But that is not an excuse to miss and forget it. For collectively and cumulatively all stated intentions not released are eroding our common decency of community standards and as weight affect you from our experiences. What happens to stated intentions left unresolved? They go to an oblivion.
I'm going to show you that oblivion in a minute.
That malignant point of time is not as silent or as peaceful as you might think. Awesome Crimobone glows and blows playroom, Denver, Colorado. Plus grew with NEG 2016. Great reasons us, you, I, and all here will unite peace.
The oblivion attached to this post.
These people refuse.
This is Mr. Harris.
To reason. These people refuse to listen to reason. Hey, get out of here! Get it! Who is that?
Knocking on my window.
You are out. You are out. You are out. You are out. You're out. Okay, for what clothes do you have?
I'm paying sick, almost sick. We're not playing this.
I'm dialing 911. 911 right now. 911. 911. I don't know what clothes you have. You left. What clothes are they?
Never-ending game.
What clothes are they? What
Never-ending game with these people.
What clothes?
Or was.
Yeah, right. What clothes? I'll give you your clothes back. What clothes?
He won't give me an answer. He can't give me an answer.
Bullshit.
You all right?
No, I'm not all right.
Okay.
No, I'm not all right. This is the end of this recording.